From the moment Naoya Inoue stepped into the world of professional boxing, he carried with him the quiet fury of a warrior whose pride could never be touched. His rise was not fueled merely by talent or ambition, but by a deep code of honor he lived by, a standard drawn from ancient samurai traditions that guided every punch he threw and every opponent he faced. The world knew him as the monster, a title earned through ruthless precision and frightening power, yet beneath that terrifying aura lived a fighter who took disrespect personally, who believed that arrogance must be punished and dignity defended with force. Whenever opponents mocked him, boasted about their superiority, or disrespected the people closest to him, they unknowingly summoned a version of Inoue that became unstoppable. And what followed was always the same: devastation. This was never clearer than during the semi-final bout of the World Boxing Super Series, where he faced the undefeated Emmanuel Rodriguez. On paper, the fight was a unification bout for the WBA and IBF titles, a battle between two elite technicians in the prime of their careers. But for Inoue, the fight carried a deeper meaning. Days before the match, inside a gym packed with trainers and spectators, Rodriguez's coach crossed a line no warrior could overlook. In front of Inoue, the coach shoved his father with blatant disrespect, a gesture meant to intimidate but instead awakening a fire that burned hotter than championship gold. Inoue did not react outwardly. Instead, he made a silent promise to avenge the dishonor by dismantling Rodriguez with unrelenting vengeance. When fight night arrived, that fire erupted into something terrifying. From the opening bell, Inoue fought with the spirit of a man possessed. His movements were sharper than ever, his strikes landing with crisp violence. Each punch seemed to carry the weight of the insult he had witnessed. Rodriguez, confident in his skills and undefeated record, tried holding his ground, but quickly found himself drowning in a storm of punches he couldn't anticipate. Inoue cracked him with brutal body shots that caused visible pain, and moments later unleashed a combination so fierce that Rodriguez, for the first time in his career, dropped to the canvas. The audience watched as the monster delivered his vengeance with precision, knocking Rodriguez down again as though following a sacred duty. The fight ended with Rodriguez crumbling under the assault, and Inoue stood triumphant as the new IBF bantamweight champion, fulfilling his promise with ruthless efficiency. The monster's reign of destruction, however, was far from over. Soon after, he found himself across the ring from Jaime McDonnell, a British champion known for both his skill and his confidence. McDonnell's record glistened with victories, and he had never been knocked out. Emboldened by that fact, he made loud claims about being the best bantamweight on the planet, dismissing Inoue as just another challenger. His pride swelled as cameras rolled, and his words spread like sparks across dry grass. But when the first bell rang, Inoue extinguished that confidence with icy brutality. He tore into McDonnell with sharp jabs and devastating hooks, walking him down with the cold focus of an assassin. Every movement from Inoue showed intent. Every strike was thrown with the goal of silencing McDonnell's boasts. And within minutes, the Brit went from champion to a crumbling shell as Inoue overwhelmed him with relentless punishment. McDonnell, who once stood tall, fell into the category of fighters who had underestimated the monster and paid the price in blood. But perhaps the most telling example of Inoue's relentless spirit came earlier in his career when he faced Antonio Neves. At the time, Inoue was still new to the global stage, young and hungry but relatively untested. Neves, a cold-blooded fighter with a solid record and knockout power of his own, publicly dismissed Inoue as an overhyped prospect who had never faced a real threat. He claimed Inoue had only fought at home and predicted the so-called monster would crumble as soon as he stood in front of someone with true skill. Those words floated through the boxing world and settled heavily in the mind of Inoue, fueling a determination that became clear once the fight began. From the opening seconds, Neves tried to test Inoue's chin, winging punches with the confidence of a man who believed victory was inevitable. But every shot he threw only strengthened Inoue's resolve. The Japanese prodigy began dissecting him with precise counters, sharp footwork, and targeted body shots that sank into Neves like steel blades. The turning point came when Inoue drove a monstrous punch into Neves's liver, a crushing blow that dropped him instantly and left the audience breathless. Though Neves staggered back to his feet, his corner saw the truth written clearly across his face: continuing would only lead to unnecessary suffering. The fight was stopped, and Inoue walked away with another lesson taught, another doubter silenced. Even outside marquee matchups, Inoue faced opponents who arrived in the ring dripping with arrogance, believing their experience or toughness made them untouchable. Pennis was one such fighter, a man who mocked Inoue's youth and lack of global exposure. In the early moments of their bout, Pennis danced around him with smug confidence, waving his arms and taunting his younger opponent. But Inoue, a samurai in spirit, refused to tolerate such disgrace. With one perfectly placed shot, Inoue dropped Pennis like a puppet whose strings had been cut. Yet even then, Pennis continued his antics, provoking Inoue further until the monster unleashed a barrage of punches that shattered any illusion of superiority. The fight ended quickly, with Inoue dominating him so thoroughly that Pennis left the ring humbled in every sense. Then came the showdown with Thailand's Patcharan Kokiajim, a fighter known for his durability and bravado. From the opening bell, Inoue peppered him with violent combinations, working the head and body with surgical precision. But the Thai fighter taunted him back, shrugging off punches and mocking the monster's power. That arrogance sealed his fate. Inoue intensified his assault, melting Kokiajim's defenses with fiery fists until the final blow sent him spinning into defeat. The knockout was spectacular, a masterpiece of timing and force that reaffirmed Inoue as one of boxing's deadliest champions. These fights, brutal and unforgettable, reveal a truth about Naoya Inoue's journey. He is not merely a boxer. He is a force born of discipline, pride, and a warrior's heart. Every insult he hears, every disrespectful gesture he witnesses, becomes fuel for destruction. And every opponent who underestimates him eventually learns what the world already knows. The monster punishes arrogance. The monster defends honor. The monster never forgets. If you enjoyed witnessing the rise of Naoya Inoue and the destruction he delivered to those who challenged him, tell me which legendary fighter or rivalry you want to see next. Do you believe Inoue is the most dangerous bantamweight in history? What other knockout artist should we cover? Make sure to like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments so you never miss a new deep dive into the world of boxing.